Hello to all Elliotticians, crypto traders, and whoever is watching. Guys, I hope you're having a good one. Today's Boxing Day, and I'm going to do another video for you just before Christmas. And I do, of course, hope to all of you and wish you that you have a very Merry Christmas. Without getting into much details, and I'll try to keep it short this time, and I mean it, we're going to have a quick look on BTC and Luna today. Okay. Not much has changed with BTC. Not much has changed with Luna, but I have spotted some. Well, I have actually made a slight change in the previous count. It doesn't affect much the upside, but it affects what's happened before, because I was trying to figure out a way that really sits well with me, and I have found one. So I'm gonna present that to you today. It is, of course, the QIC community vote that voted for Luna, and they always go for Luna. It's like we don't even need the vote. So until early next week, where I'm gonna post the vote for my own community on YouTube, then unfortunately that's gonna be the two that I'm gonna live with BTC and Luna. And I'm pretty sure most of you will find that great, since this is the second video for the week. I did Ethereum and Ripple I think a couple of days ago. So 2 videos a week I can do for now, but I can't promise I can do them next week. Don't forget that I also have my own Telegram channel, guys. If you are interested in joining to have several daily updates on BTC and other altcoins as well, let me know. On chain analysis on a weekly basis, monthly webinars, trading ideas, a lot of chat in the premium group as well. So without continuing now, do not forget, none of this is investment advice. It's purely educational, and that Elliott Waves is a tool, guys, okay, to help us understand, mystify where the market might be going. Okay, so let's jump to the charts and take it from there with BTC first, and then quickly we're gonna have a look on Luna. I'll be honest, it's getting a bit boring having to do the same all over and all over. So I'm going to point you to previous videos if you want to see what the count is here. I'll just take 1 minute to explain what's going on here. This is an ABC. This is an ABC. And I'm expecting here 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, which is an ending diagonal that can appear in wave Y. Now we can also get, because it's a W, X, and Y, so we can expect any corrective pattern out here, right? I exclude the triangle because it's too high, the first leg. Okay, so where is it going to end? At 50k. My low is 30. It's not good. I exclude the zigzag, the ABC, because again the C came down here. It means that we cannot get another ABC, and personally I don't know, and I don't really use doubles in Y or in W. Like similar way we cannot get a leading diagonal in W, then Y would be able to get W, X, and Y in Y. So I don't use them. I can use them in X. Yes, in X I know for a fact that they can be used. So and the other pattern, of course, would be which is the alternative, is that this is going to be a very big wave B near the previous high, and we're going to end up having a deep correction in wave C as a flat. Unlikely to be a regular, because the wave C cannot extend as much. So, maybe we're going to get a fresh high and then do that for wave 4. But then that would extend wave 4 to a period where, it might be a bit too elongated. On a different note, it will bring different scenarios into play. But we're far from there. I'm not going to go into there right now. Just so you know, we have a flat in wave W. Okay, an expanded flat. We'll have an ABC in X, and we expect to see an ending diagonal in Y. That is the main scenario for now, and that is because we have an ABC here. Although we are still valid in terms of getting 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, I have decided to go with a main that is an ending diagonal because I'm expecting 1 and 2. Okay, and this is purely because the duration of wave 4 over here is becoming quite extremely big when we compare to the correction in wave 2. Okay, so that seems to suggest like it does not belong to the same structure. It belongs to a corrective structure over here, most likely, which I'm going to show you now in the short term. By the way, I just wanted to say before we move that from a traditional point of view as well, most of you have heard me mentioning ending diagonals, head and shoulders before, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see that ending all the way up to around the 58k, which might also be very likely a support, resistance, which is around 62. Look here, the 62 correction is around 56.8. Now, the 5350 is a very important level though, right? It is very important because I will tell you this, if we don't manage to get that level, it means that that still remains progressive to the downside, right? So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, whether I like it or not, okay? But so this is the reason I'm changing to an ending diagonal. But if we don't manage to break above that level, there is no chance there's going to be an ending diagonal because we have to see the overlap. Without overlap, nope, right? So for now, we keep it there, nice and short. In the short term, okay, let me just perhaps go down to the 1 hour. We are looking at an ABC, as I said before, and that is, one reason is this. The second reason is that the extension in wave 3 didn't really get us to 1618. It's a guideline. We don't need to get there, but we didn't even do 132 of this, and it looks like 1, 2, 3 rather than anything else, right? So far, which angle 3 means ABC. So what do we see here? ABC, right? We see a triangle down in wave B, and we see a wave C, which is expected, of course, to be a 5-wave move because this is a simple zigzag with a triangle in wave B. So we've had our fair bit of 5 waves here and a correction, and we've also had a fair bit of, well, I would say 4 waves so far. So I'm expecting another leg up to complete wave 3, then 4, and then 5. So short term, guys, it looks like to me that we still have a bit of room to move higher. Okay, we'll have a huge resistance, of course, to get through at 52k, and then a very big resistance also at 53.30, which is a previous swing low over here. Those levels have to break with this move to the upside. Okay, in order for the main scenario to be, I would say, supported. I wouldn't say confirmed. So it looks like to me, since we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 internally here, that ABC for wave 4 is in. We have to assume for now it's in because we got a new low over here, and that means that, okay, it can be in. But don't forget, we can also get some sort of triangle here as an alternative in the very, very, very short term. But we're going to have probably clues around that anyway, probably by the end of the day. And then I want to see the fourth one, perhaps getting the channel over here again, coming down to 4. My 4 might be here. It might be a double 4 down here, and then a continuation up to wave 5. Now 54 is the level because it's a 50% correction as well, feeble and correction. It's the level where we really pay attention to because it will change sentiment. When you have a high and a low and you draw your 50, this is where your sentiment is, right? Just so you know. Now, I'll be honest, when I see wave 3 not even extending up to like 100%, I'm leaning towards ending diagonals usually, right? Now, we're not going to go there yet. It's too early, but just keep in mind that that might end up being some sort of ending diagonal here, okay? Just keep that in mind. That's going to be all for BTC, guys. Let's quickly go on Luna. Where is our Luna? Okay, there we go. So last time I did say that we're going to get to around 100, and that's happened. Now, what I want to tell you is that we'll have more room to the upside, okay? Okay, something has not been saved here for some reason. Why is that a B? Okay, that is okay. B, that is okay. That is my C, that is my A, and that's the A and C. Now, some of you might think that that looks ugly and is definitely not the right count. But I will tell you what, compared to what I have had before, try different variations, right? It makes sense that these two belong in the same structure over here, right? Hold on. Because this is what really makes sense, right? About same length, same duration, and all that stuff. Now, wave 2 and wave 4 obviously are a bit different. And usually we don't really get a complex correction and a triangle in a wave 4. But the truth is that the rules are supporting this count, and I will tell you why. Because otherwise we will have wave 3 up here, right? Because it cannot be 3, because 5 would end here, unless if it would just be a leading diagonal in 1 and 2, and then you get 3 and 4, but there is overlap here, you know, so that overlap means that it's going to be, you know, either, you know, I mean, you have a leading diagonal and you get overlap on the next level up. It's just not possible, you know what I mean? Unless if it would be 1 2 1 2, but then we go too far. Okay, so here's the thing: if my 3 would be here, that means that my 5 would be here, and that would be an anti-diagonal, which I tried before, but then that would have my minute wave be too long compared to even the minor wave. So you don't get lower degree waves being larger than the higher degree often. Okay, it's just not what it is. So anyway, I'm going with this as the main, and I'm having happily a wave 4 over here. Why? Because in triangles, all we care about is connecting B, D, A, and C. Where E ends, it doesn't matter as long as it doesn't invalidate the triangle. So the triangle has not been invalid over here. It doesn't really matter where it ends. And I will tell you something else. Look at this. We've got another triangle in E, okay, which is one of the few times that we see something like this, but it is what it is. Now, we have a method of using the Fibo, which is from 0 all the way 3 to 4. Okay, and you can clearly see that we've done the level over here that we've wanted. The next level up is 130, 173 according to this. But since we have a triangle now over here, right, guys, we have to use the measured move. Okay, so we're gonna take the triangle open and add it up on wave E to find out where we can end up being. And the best way to do this, and thanks Joe for this, you know who you are, is to pull out all this line all the way back, and we have to actually measure the opening from the lower part of A all the way up in a straight line, vertical line. So this is it. So we'll have to measure from here to here and then take this distance and add it on E. So let's do this quickly. I'm going to use actually the Fibo tool. Is the easiest way to do this. From there to there, and we'll have to use the 200%, which is the 94.25. Okay, one way to do this is this. This is the 100%. The other way is to use 1 and 2 and go down to 4. Okay, and look at where we are coming. 97.39, 14.53, 148, 148, 140. This is our cluster, guys. This is our level. Okay. Now, I'm not though too confident that we can get over 114.53. That will depend on, you know, how it continues from where we are in the short term. Okay, and there are different ways, of course, for that to continue higher. One way, which is my main, is that well, we are going to have to use the short-term Fibo. Assume, well, that my wave 3, it's probably done, right? Which means regardless of you know, the usual guidelines, because that has really gone up quite far and we see that volumes are decreasing while we move up in a third wave, it looks like more of a diagonal to me, right? So, but that doesn't necessarily mean it has to be a diagonal. It can be also an impulse. So for now, and since we have not yet done an overlap, it looks like to me that we're going to get an ABC here for wave B, for wave 4, sorry. And from there, continue all the way up for a fresh high, maybe 107, 110. Okay. and then correct. Okay. Now, there is of course a bullish, well, this is kind of bullish in the short term. There's also a bullish alternative that is going to a 3 that is, actually impulsive. That means, our wave 1 is here, our wave 2 is here, we're going to get 3, then we're going to get 4, you know how it works, and then we're going to get 5 around 168. And then literally the end of this could really take us up to around the 200, okay? But that would also mean that it needs to be supported by the rest of the crypto market, right? Is BTC going to stay where it is to allow altcoins to move that high? Because to double from here, it's not something that it can take a week or so, right? You can understand. I know we saw from like 50 to 100, like since the 14th in 2 weeks, but this is unlikely to happen once again, right? But we never know, okay? It's just unlikely. It doesn't mean it cannot. It's just unlikely, right? Now, here's what I'm going to do, right? I want to see, first of all, how today is going to close and how we're going to get along until the end of the year, right? If we see a deep correction over here, then unfortunately it's going to be bad news because we're going to most likely get an anti-diagonal, okay? Which means we're going to get a leg down. Anything below the 78 gives us increases the probability of that being an anti-diagonal, right? Which means we're going to get one more leg up. 107 might be our level if we stop here, and then we start correcting. Now, in case we get a correction or whatever, okay, if we get a correction without an overlap, then very likely to continue higher. How we're going to continue higher? I mean, are we going to see increased volumes? The increased volumes is going to be where my wave 3 is going to end. Well, it has to be high volumes and the wave 3 combined, right? So, depending on how volumes are going to actually print and where prices are going to get up to in combination with these volumes, this is where our wave 3 is going to end. Once we get our wave 3, guys, yeah, we're going to get our tool again. We're going to go up to the wave 3. We're going to get this and go to wave 4. And we're going to have the 38 as for our first target. Okay. And then the 50 and then the 61.8. Okay. Now, I think pretty much this is all there is. What else I want to do, because the channels have to be used and I love to use them. I'm going to use 2, 4, and 3 to find a potential end for wave 5. Okay, now, can you see this? Some of you might think this is random, but it's not random at all, guys. This is the middle regression line of this channel. If we don't get above that line, whatever we're going to do, we're just going to keep bouncing on that level and then finally, give up or give in. So since we've done a double rejection over here, following that, right, we can now expect a correction. As I said, we're going to put an invalidation level here for the impulse, and that also is going to be a switch from an impulse to the upside to an anti-diagonal. So we're going to go from getting prices to 115, 120, 150, whatever, to probably just getting another fresh high with a maximum of 115, 107, who knows, because that was the level before, because that's likely to be an anti-diagonal if that would be the case where 4 overlaps 1. Okay, so that's going to be all for this week's videos, guys. I really wish you Merry Christmas and all the best for yourselves and your families. Take care, and we'll speak again next week.